While driving my wife and her friends to a spa weekend, I heard her call me a rescue dog and say I was easy to control, so I exposed her manipulation and filed for divorce. Not sure where to start with this one, but I'm still processing everything that happened this weekend. My hands are literally shaking as I type this. Married 8 years to Skylar, both mid-30s, and I thought things were normal. Last Friday started like any other day. Skylar was packing for a fancy spa weekend with her friends, something she'd been planning for months. When she came downstairs, she mentioned casually that her friend's husband bailed on driving them. Then came the ask, would I mind taking them? It's only a 5-hour drive each way. I hesitated because I had plans to meet Hugo for our Saturday fishing trip, but Skylar does this thing where she tilts her head and gives me this look, and I just gave in like always. By 10 a.m., I'm behind the wheel with Skylar riding shotgun and her 3 friends crammed in the back. First hour was fine, but by hour 3, they'd gone through 2 bottles of pre-mixed margaritas. Not enough to be wasted, but enough that they got loud and started forgetting I was there. They were talking about marriages and relationships. Laura was complaining about how her boyfriend never listened and how she has to nag him. Then Skylar, my wife, chimes in with, honestly, he's like a rescue dog. You feed him, he wags his tail. So easy to control. The car went completely silent for 3 seconds. Then they all burst out laughing. I felt my grip tighten on the steering wheel. My knuckles went white, but I didn't say anything. Just kept driving like I hadn't heard, even though my face was burning red. For the remaining 2 hours, I replayed those words over and over. Rescue dog, so easy to control. 8 years together, and that's how she sees me. Some pathetic animal she's trained. When we finally arrived at this fancy mountain resort, Skylar and her friends piled out with their bags. Skylar didn't even look at me as she was walking away. Just called back over her shoulder that I shouldn't forget to wash the sheets before she gets back because they stink like me. Then she laughed. They all did. The drive back was the longest 5 hours of my life. No music, no podcasts, just me and my thoughts. Every conversation, every compromise we'd made started replaying with this new lens. Had she been controlling me this whole time? How I gave up weekly guy nights because she said they were juvenile. How we always spend holidays with her family because mine is too chaotic. How my bonus went towards new kitchen appliances instead of fixing my project car. By the time I pulled into our driveway, it was almost midnight. I wandered from room to room, really seeing things for the first time. How there are literally no photos of my family anywhere. How my stuff is hidden away while her things get displayed. That's when I noticed she hadn't logged out of her social media. I've never been the type to snoop, but after what I heard in the car, I started scrolling. 2 hours later, I was reading years of messages between her and her friends about me. How she trained me to give her what she wants. How she deliberately picks fights when I bring up things that matter to me. How she and Laura laugh about their projects, meaning me and Laura's boyfriend. It was like reading about myself from the perspective of someone who sees me as a joke. By morning, something had changed in me. I'm done being someone's rescue dog. I called Hugo and made a plan. First, the bank. I opened a new account and transferred half of what was left in our joint account. Next, I canceled subscriptions I never used but she insisted on. Called a locksmith and had all locks changed. Packed up her clothes and moved them to a storage unit. Then I made a simple message with screenshots of her worst texts and sent it to our closest friends and family. Her texts rolled in all Sunday. First casual, then confused, then demanding. I didn't respond to any of them. Monday morning, I took the day off and started reclaiming our house. Moved furniture how I wanted it. Took down the live laugh love crap she insisted on hanging everywhere. Changed all the passwords. It felt like waking up from a coma. Around 4 yesterday afternoon, my doorbell camera pinged. There she was, trying her key on the new lock, then pounding on the door. I didn't answer. She called 14 times, left voicemails that evolved from confused to angry to tearful begging. This morning, I met with a lawyer and started the divorce process. She showed up at my work an hour ago, mascara running, making a scene asking what she did wrong. I just looked at her and said, I'm not your rescue dog anymore. The look on her face, she knew exactly what I meant. Then she started crying that she didn't mean it, that I was taking a joke too seriously. I just walked away. When we finally sat down to talk, I had 8 years of evidence laid out. Bank statements showing she'd been siphoning $20,000 into a private account. Credit card bills she'd been hiding. Screenshots of texts mocking me. She cycled through every emotion. Crying, pleading, angry accusations, seduction attempts, threats. When none of that worked, she threw my water glass against the wall. That's when Laura showed up with her own evidence. Screenshots I hadn't found, including Skylar bragging about cheating on me with her boss and planning to upgrade once she secured a promotion. I just sat down and laughed. 8 years with someone who saw me as a stepping stone. The divorce is moving forward. We'll sell the house and split the proceeds minus the money she took. I'm staying with Hugo temporarily while looking for an apartment. Last night I went on my first date since college. That wasn't with Skylar. Nothing serious, just coffee. But it was nice having a normal conversation with someone genuinely interested in what I had to say. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm never going back to being someone's rescue dog again.